Hey, do you suffer from your cooldowns not lining up? Got a 2-minute trinket, but a 1-minute 30 demonic tyrant? Well, let me come here with a brand new solution for you to solve your problems. Now you're gonna have 1-minute tyrant, and your 2-minute trinket will go on every other tyrant. Oi oi my drillers, it's your geezer BigDonnyCal here, and today I'm going to talk to you about the Wilfreds demonic tyrant build for Demonology. What is this build good for? Well, it is great in raiding, the best raiding build, and also a very good build for Mythic Plus, especially on tyrannical weeks. If you don't have much boss damage, you could be the one to provide the boss damage for your team. And also you can get pretty nutty AoE bursts with just a few minor adjustments, which I will talk about later on in the video. So you're probably sitting here just staring out a window wondering, what talents do I run for this demonic tyrant build? Well guys, as of season 4, the talents you are going to want to be running are as follows. You want Dreadlash, Demonic Calling, Dark Pact, From the Shadows, Mortal Coil, Soul Conduit, and Demonic Consumption. There are a few changes, however, which I will discuss now. Instead of running with Dreadlash, before you have 2 set, you want to be running with Demonic Strength. And instead of From the Shadows, before 4 set, you want to be running with Summon Vile Fiend. However, in Mythic Plus scenarios, I would advise From the Shadows. During raiding, instead of Soul Conduit, you want to be running Grimoire Felguard. So the next part of this guide, I am going to be talking to you about Covenants, Soulbinds, and Conduits. What Covenant do you want to run? Nightfey, without question, is just incredibly powerful as just a warlock in general. Soul Shape giving that mobility which you lack as a warlock feels so nice. And it does mean you can take Dark Pact instead of Burning Rush. Dark Pact is an amazing defensive to have. That even so, I wouldn't take Burning Rush. And, yeah. Then there's Soul Rot. Why is Soul Rot good? Well, it sucks unless you're Reflection. Unless, boom, let me show you the Soulbinds. Just gonna move my camera over here in this janky place. And, yeah. So the Soulbinds we want to be running primarily is Dreamweaver. But you can, if you're less experienced, run with Naya. Normally with this setup, except you'd run Born of Blood. You'd also run Naya in PvP scenarios. Just note that when you play with Naya, you want to be using your Soul Rot just before you summon your Demonic Tyrant, so that it actually gains the health gain benefits from, it's one of these traits here. Who cares? There's a trait here that will give you extra stamina, which more health to your tyrant does mean more damage, but also more haste to your tyrant means more damage, which is why with Dreamweaver, you actually summon a tyrant, then you pop Soul Rot for the big haste benefit you get from Field of Blossoms. Now, as for Conduits, I strongly recommend running the Condensed Animosphere. Very nice, very nutty little heal, and Resolute Barrier, so you can get your Unending Resolve back more frequently. You do want to be using your defensive quite regularly as a warlock, as that's what makes you so tanky to so many abilities. I wouldn't really roll with the other two. If you're forced to, maybe Diabolic Bloodstone would be a little bit better than Accrued Vitality. That'd be it, really. As for Finesse Conduits, Demonic Momentum is this. Gives you more mobility, especially after taking a Gateway. can be very, very handy in loads of Mythic Plus scenarios. If you watch my streams, you probably see me use this quite a bit, and definitely making use of the speed bonus I get, especially on the Machinist Garden, the third boss of Mechagon Workshop. You can use the circle very easily to narrowly dodge a flame cannon and then run away from the second one, which will get you, will come for you for like 2 seconds of panic, and that's it. Notable mention is definitely Fell Celerity, reducing the cooldown of Fell Domination. Maybe Shade of Terror for PvP. Kilrog's Cunning, literally just shouldn't exist. As for potency conduits, Soul Eater, you will not play as Demo, and Fell Commando, I only see this being used in PvP, so you'll be running Born of Blood, Carnivorous Stalkers, and Tyrant Soul. These are your best. It could be argued that Fell Commando might pull ahead in AoE scenarios, but I would just keep an ear out for that one. If I get any updates, I will let you know. So the next section of this guide is going to be dealing with our character's gear. I should probably just move this to the side again. We'll just drop me down here. So yeah, let's talk about Demonology Warlock gear. What do you want for stats? Well, in single target scenarios, your priority is as follows: Haste, then Mastery. Preferably get these two to at least 30. Can overcap Haste a bit with single target. Then Crit, then Versatility. In AoE scenarios, you want to actually push Mastery a little bit more than you do Haste, as the benefit of Mastery excels in AoE compared to Haste. However, you do still want to keep your Haste pretty high. I like always being above that 30% margin, as you can see here. And what I like to do is when I go into Mythic Plus, I'll throw on some Mastery enchants and throw in some Mastery gems. And when I go into raiding, I'll go pull out my Haste enchants and my Haste gems. As for gear, we of course want to be running the at least a 4 set of the of our tier set from Sepulchre for first ones, or from upgrading through Creation Catalyst. Personally, I think running all 5 pieces is definitely the way to go. I might be saying that though, because I got pretty damn lucky with my vault and got some shoulders. But what's our tier set do? So those of you who are new to Demonology, basically the 2 set means our cool Dreadstalkers will now summon 3 Dreadstalkers instead of 2. And you now have a chance per soul shard spent on Hand of Gul'dan to summon an additional imp called the Malicious Imp, which is basically just a stronger wild imp that will behave the same as your other wild imps, just it does more damage and it will show up with different abilities. We can see here my damage breakdown. The normal imp ability is Fell Firebolt, and then the normal imp implosion is Implosion. With a Malicious Imp, the Implosion is called Spite, and with a Malicious Imp, the Fell Firebolt is now called Doombolt. So yeah, it's a nice addition to your damage. And yeah, as for legendaries, in a Abyss scenario, you want to be having your Unity on your feet in this patch, not expansion, sorry. This season, Unity on the feet, that's the best place for it. Of course, running Haste Mastery, your best in slot stats. And then you want your Wilfreds legendary on your wrist, with of course the Intellect enchant. You want Haste Mastery. It's very good to have it here. Now, as for best in slot items, ideally, yeah, go for the 5 set. If you can, get a hold of the Jailer Necklace, the Stone Legion General Cloak. You want to go for the Kelifuzad Belt, not what I've got on now. You want the 2 Mechagon rings, which will be when you do 3 different attacks, gain haste. And then, as per trinkets, from Mythic Plus, you can run with Fleshrender's Meat Hook, amazing trinket. And also the one that gives you flat out mastery, like permanently. I think it's like Torv or something or other. But ideally, you want to be getting some stuff from the raid. Best in slot scenario for single target, you want Shadowed Orb of Torment from Nazul, and you want the Kabbalist's Hymnal from Sire Denathrius. For AoE scenarios, you want to be running with Scars of Fraternal Strife, as it's strong. And it means that every now and then, you'll be able to buff your 1-minute Tyrant. So, of course, you always want to buff your 2-minute Tyrant with your Fleshrender's Meat Hook. You would have done this with Soul-Letting Ruby in the past, but now it's Fleshrender's Meat Hook. But you can also now buff the secondary Tyrant with 5 runes of Scars of Fraternal Strife. You might be wondering, how's best to use Scars? Build up your 4 runes, get 4 runes, and hold the 5th rune for when you pop that Tyrant and you don't have your Fleshrender's Hook available. As for weapons, your Mythic Plus best in slot is the Tazavesh Haste Mastery Staff. But your overall best in slot, also coming from Raid, is Antumbra, the dagger, and Forbidden Truth offhand. They both come from Sepulchre of the first ones. Right, so now I'm going to talk to you guys about consumables. I'm going to start off with enchants. I've already, of course, mentioned you want the 15 intellect enchant on your braces. You want Celestial Guidance on your weapon. You want to be running Mastery enchants on your rings for Mythic Plus and Haste enchants for raiding, or just balance it out so that you hit the thresholds you want. Of course, always make sure you have 30% haste. That is the priority regardless of content. 30% haste, get it. Primary stats plus 30 on your chest. 30 stamina isn't as needed anymore. It's better to go for the one that gives 20 stamina and avoidance, as the extra 10 stamina is very negligible these days. And yeah, that's it for enchants. As for regular consumables, of course, we run with Spectral Flask of Power. Ooh, wow, they're pretty expensive right now. Let's, don't mind me, just, making some bank. Of course, Veiled Augment runes, very nice. If you can, if you're regularly the call for it, go use some Vantus runes, and you also want to get the, Haste or Mastery food. Don't know what it's called because I literally don't use food. You can get away without using food as a warlock and push really high. I guess it's only if you're going super high content, maybe consider personal food. But a lot of times feasts are provided to just about everything. So I'd take feast primary stat over any other things really. Of course, run with Shadowcore oil, and if you can, get some armor kits. Oh, I can't even spell. Heavy Deso. Here we are. Heavy Desolate armor kits. Stock up on these. These are great. Just gonna buy 20 of them now because, you know, pushing those higher keys, gonna want some. So yeah, those are the consumables you're gonna run. And now I'm gonna show you the rotation. Oi my drillers, right now I'm going to show you our raid rotation. I've swapped out Scars of Fraternal Strife, as it's unlikely you'll use this in raid, although you can use it. I've just gone from a passive trinket to simulate Kabbalist's Hymnal a bit more. So the way we're going to be bursting or doing damage as a demo lock is we want to be putting everything into our Tyrant, giving him as big of a damage window as possible with our demonic consumption talent. which will mean putting our Grimroth Felguard, our Dreadstalkers, and about 6 imps into our Tyrant. So on 4 seconds of the timer, you want to be hard casting Demon Bolt. This is the only hard cast of Demon Bolt you ever do. Instantly summon your Felguard, Shadow Bolt, Hand of Gul'dan, Shadow Bolt again, keep Shadow Bolting until you can Dreadstalker, use Dreadstalkers, realize your pets from passive, click your trinkets and ratios, summon Tyrant and Hand of Gul'dan, Soul Rot immediately after your Tyrant's been summoned. That's how Dreamweaver play works. And yeah, here's the damage. Excuse the passive stuff. The rotation's still the same, of course, just numbers will look a bit whack because I have the pets on passive, but ayo, it's what it is. And yeah, you want to prioritize using Demonic Core procs over hardcasting Shadow Bolt when you can. Try and save some for if you have to move. Use Cool Dreadstalkers off of cooldown, unless you're really close to summoning a new Tyrant. You're gonna have to get used to the timings of Tyrants coming back with Wilfreds. As you can see, the timer's going rapidly down, and I might have Tyrant back before my Dreadstalkers. Nah, okay. And then boom, we summon our Tyrant, then we Soul Rot, and bam, the rotation carries on. So the next rotation I'm going to show you is your Mythic Plus rotation. Bear in mind, in Mythic Plus, there might be a couple times you can hardcast Demon Bolt based on slow tanks, but in a good group, you won't really have to hardcast Demon Bolt at all. You should just be throwing out your Shadow Bolts. So yeah, let me show you what it's like with Scars of Fraternal Strife. Let's get right into it. Boom. Get some Hand of Gul'dans out. Try and get that instant Dreadstalkers. Lovely jubbly. Hand of Gul'dan. Shadow Bolt. Hand of Gul'dan. And we optimally want more imps than we do in single target, as we now don't have access to Grimroth Felguard, and we're playing with Soul Conduit, so we're more likely to get those imps to appear again. Well, get the soul shards back to summon more imps at least. Just want to hang on to 4 runes from our trinket until we get the next Tyrant summon. So we're going to keep DPSing. Of course, if you want to do an implosion, try and do it straight after a Dreadstalker summon, as we get increased Shadow Flame damage from the Dreadbite, Dreadlash from the Shadows combo. And yeah, okay, we're coming up to the Tyrant summon just now. Trying to build up as much of an army as possible. Instant Dreadstalkers, one more Hand of Gul'dan. Use the 5th rune, and boom, we have our Tyrant out. Just bear in mind that there's going to be quite a few scenarios, especially with the new Shrouded Affix, where we're taking haste, where we will be seeing our Tyrant quite a bit before our Soul Rot. If it really is like that long between Tyrant and Soul Rot, then by all means, just save Soul Rot for the next go. Better to keep it in sync. If it's like already a few seconds into Tyrant, like, it's not worth using. You can use it within 3 seconds of summoning your Tyrant. That is it for today's video though. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to come leave a like, go subscribe. Any questions in the comment section down below, or even in our Discord down below. And what's that? I can give you live responses every day on twitch.tv/BigDonnyCal. Link in the description. Guys, have an amazing day, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.